Alright, here for the fourth round with the Eldrazi deck, and we got an opener that is not great, but has multiple pieces to the puzzle. I think we just have to hope we draw at least one big guy in the next few. Oh no. Oh no! And that's where Kool-Aid Man busts in and goes, oh yeah! That's Kool-Aid Man. Oh yeah! I assume he's going to take Mimic, but maybe not if he has Bolt. If he has like a handful of bolts and stuff, he may just take Spellskite. Uh, if he's Creature Light, he'll take Dismember. So, a few things we can garner from what he takes. If he leaves us with Mimic and Spellskite and takes Dismember, I may just wait until like a turn or two before I actually play the spells, or before the Mimic. I might play the Spellskite first, just to protect it from protect Mimic from Bolt and protect other things from like Kolaghan's Command. Okay, the old minute-long Inquisition. No one expected the minute-long Inquisition. Alright, took Mimic. What do we draw? Something great? That was something great. I'm only here with Temple. I don't know what he's playing exactly. He may be playing Grixis. He may be playing John. He may be playing some wacky deck with, you know, Inquisition as like a safety valve. I think it's okay to lead with the Temple. I'm gonna hopefully not regret it, but we draw Spirit God. I do just want to Reality Smasher him on turn 2. So, all right, I guess he's playing the I don't even remember what the name of the deck was. Mardu Midrange or whatever Ben Stark and those guys played. Path me? Tight. Alright, well, we did draw 2 Smashers, so that's great. He just plays Liliana or Lingering Souls here. Okay. Alright. I guess we'll just smash him up. And luckily we have the ability to animate Mutavault even if he does have a Liliana, so we could just sacrifice that. And if he ticks up, we can just discard this extra Ayavugan. Everything's coming up Millhouse. What costs 4? Maybe something costs double red. I don't know. Maybe he has a removal spell for this. That would kind of stink. Another path. Okay. Well, luckily we do have this other Smasher, so it's not too bad. I mean, it's not great, but it's not too bad. At least he's not pathing this Reality Smasher. Okay. Well, guess we still just Smasher. Kill Lily? Play Reshaper. It's not great, I'm not gonna lie. Having, like, playing the Smasher and killing a 1, I guess, toughness Liliana doesn't feel great. But, I think it's okay. I mean, he has an 11, so we basically traded almost half of his life for his 1 toughness Lily, but I'm almost always under the impression that if you can't kill the opponent that turn, you should try to kill the Planeswalker that could threaten to dominate the game later on. That is my standing theory anyway. Alright, let's see what you got going on before I make my attack decisions. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully just like kill Smasher and then discards the other card. Helix targeting Smasher. Yeah, that's fine. We'll just not attack with that one this turn. Yeah, discard another Helix. Okay. Okie dokie. I feel like he actually should have just helixed to me. Just tried to race. Maybe draw a Sorin, tick up, gain 8 more life. Something like that. Alright. If he quad blocks the Thought Knots here, I may dismember. If he single blocks. Okay. Alright. Well, he's only got one card in hand, so YOLO. Is that Kolaghan's command or something? Crackling Doom? Ew, wow, that's really good. Alright, well, we get to clear his board, hit him for 3. I probably should attack with Mutavault too. I actually just forgot I had it in play for a second, so. I kind of want to Ghost Quarter him. Although he may draw a Shambling Vents or something in a turn. It may end up mattering, so we'll just sit. Alright, we drew land, so that's a GG. Alright. His draw was pretty good there. Our draw, we did just draw a Running Reality Smasher, so that was nice. Chalice of the Void actually does not seem that good in this matchup. More thing about Chalice has just not been great. Chalice, I think, was phenomenal for the Pro Tour. Don't get me wrong. I think it was a great card and a great choice. But moving forward with all these Eldrazi decks and people just understanding that they have to have these, you know, slightly bigger cards in their deck to deal with stuff like Smasher and Thought-Knots here means that Chalice is just getting worse and worse. Like, we did see Bolt and, like, Inquisition, but it would not surprise me if the only one-mana cards in his deck were Bolt and Inquisition. You know, maybe has like a Flame Slash or a Thoughtseize or something like that. I wouldn't mind a Chalice on 2, but I don't think it locks them that hard, so I think I'd rather just not have it. I think Sower is probably great. I think this is a very grindy matchup that could go long. I like Ratchet Bomb just to help deal with all the tokens. And I may want some Pithy Needles for Lily. I guess I kind of want Relic too, so maybe we just need to just change our board or change our deck a lot. Like, Dismember doesn't seem great. He probably has like Bob, but for the most part, those decks are just like Abbott, Lingering Souls, Bob. So Gutshot's actually just way better. And maybe we should bring these in. Go just cut the Mimics and play like a much longer game. Just not have any guys that straight up die to Lightning Bolt. That actually sounds kind of cool. Well, maybe try that. Play one Warping Whale. Counter Lingering Souls. Yeah, sure. We'll give it a shot. Sometimes you just want to see how stuff works, you know? Have a different sideboard plan. Oof. This hand's pretty bad, but we are on the draw, and he's a very attrition-heavy deck. And a lot of these cards are very good in this matchup. So I'm gonna keep it and very much regret it in a turn or two when I haven't cast or haven't played a second land. So I kind of want to just slam off a Pithy Needle on Liliana, but I think I may want to try to draw land next turn. So we're just gonna play the Relic. I have a feeling he's gonna go like discard your Needle. And then I'm not gonna be able to stop his Lily. Okay, well, that lets me know he probably has a Lightning Helix in hand, so it's good to know. I'm going to go ahead and just play Needle instead of cracking the Relic of Progenitus. Just going to go ahead and name Liliana so it doesn't punish me next turn. Our Relic is going to keep his Lingering Souls in check, which I like. But not having the other land is a little weird. We may go ahead and crack it now. Oh, that was a good draw. I'm actually just going to slow roll my creatures here. If he has Helix, I'm okay with that because we may get another land here. If he has Path, we definitely get a land, so that's fine. Bolt, that's cool. Battlefield. And unfortunately, he did do this end of turn, so I don't get to do some crazy second main Thought Knots here action, which would have been sweet. But we draw a land, we get to. Actually, we can't just double Thought Knots here off of Simian Spirit Guide. He's probably gonna kill something, but all right. So his hand is 2 Crackling Dooms, a Dead Lily, a Path to Exile, which we don't mind too much, a Johnny Vengeant, which we actually mind a lot. So yeah, we'll just hammer his hand pretty hard here. So he's gonna Doom, get a card, but then we get to strip one of his good ones. Yeah, the Vengeant might not be that bad, but considering all his removal, it could be devastating. So we'll probably end up taking the Johnny Vengeant here and just let him path our Thought Knots here, and then we'll just play this attrition game. So he hit a Souls, so he didn't have a land yet. And even if he goes to Johnny Vengeant, we can still play a reasonable sized guy. So yeah, we're just gonna take the Lingering Souls, just because there is a chance later in the game he gets to go play Souls, flashback Souls, and he may not be able to play Johnny Vengeant. If he does, that actually just doesn't matter at next turn, and we get to play this other guy before he gets to stick it. So Ghost Quarter off the top is fine. If he goes to Vengeant, tap down something, we just get to kill his guy. So he actually can't play Vengeant this turn. He does get to path our guy and draw a card, though, which is not great. Kind of hope he Ghost Quarters my Iougin. Could have pitched the Spirit Guide to make one more, but I may want to use that later to activate Iougin, since I do think this game's going to go quite some time. Hilariously enough, we actually can't really play our endless, or we can't actually attack with our endless one, because then it could just get locked down. And we can't really attack with Nexus either, because he has Lightning Helix in hand, so. We tapped our Ghost Quarter. That was probably a mistake. I may just go ahead and pop this Relic of Progenitus since it's not doing a whole lot right now. Fulminator Mage. A. Okay. So we know his hand is Liliana, Johnny Vengeant, Lightning Helix. Alright, so we might just want to try to get our Ratchet Bomb up to 4. I'm just going to go ahead and pop this Relic, draw a card, try to draw into a Smasher or something. Mutavault's not bad. Another Iougin. If we had Cavern of Souls in our deck, we could play Cavern and do some cool stuff. Yeah, 2 mana short currently of activating Eye, or 1 mana technically since we have the Spirit Guide. If he draws a hard removal spell for Endless One, then I think we actually just lose. Yeah, he's going to target Ratchet Bomb, so I guess we still want to put a counter on it. Or I guess no, it doesn't actually change anything by putting a counter on it. We can Ghost Quarter his Blood Crypt, but he probably has a Mountain in his deck, and then he can still hold up Helix. He probably has a Mountain and a Plane, so there's probably no way Ghost Quarter can keep him off of Helix. Alright, well, we're just going to play this off of Wastes. And we're going to probably activate both our creature lands and send everybody out of Johnny. And he's going to probably keep our Endless one locked down next turn, but we have a bit of pressure in play now, so we may be able to get the Ratchet Bomb ticked up enough to keep a Johnny from hitting us with the Armageddon. I'm assuming he's going to go Chump Block, Endless 1, Fulminator Mage, kill Blink Moth, and then Helix, Mutavault. We're kind of throwing away our lands here, but I think we just have to force his hand. Just do that so I don't forget. Really hope he Ghost Quarters my Ivugan, but I don't think he's gonna. Peel Lingering Souls? That'd be gross. What is this? Crumble to Dust? Damnation. Well, Tarnation is more like, am I right? That was a good one, for sure. Now we can just keep our Ratchet Bomb locked down, and we need to draw Reality Smasher right away. Alright, so his last card's Lily, so at least that's fine. Really hope he kills my Ivugan, so we just have these backups. I assume he would hit Eldrazi Temple, though. Oh, okay. Yes, I would love to do that. Oblivion Sower? Don't mind if I do. Alright, all lands mine. So we can't fetch with these, but we can certainly Ghost Quarter his Shambling Vent, which is nice. And maybe start taking up our Ratchet Bomb. We'll get to at least whack the Johnny for 5, unless he... I guess even if he plays Souls, we get to hit it with the bomb, so... And if we draw Urborg ever, then we get to activate our Ivugan. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right now, so... We'll just play this other Matter Reshaper, and probably the other Ratchet Bomb. Hope we didn't draw Path. No! Oh, that's so good. Okay. Play this other bomb. Just really don't want to get Armageddon, basically. But we may end up getting Armageddon, actually. But we have this backup Ivugan, so... if he doesn't draw a spell that can get through Ratchet Bomb... like, his last card is Liliana. He may tick down a Johnny to hit Matter Reshaper. But we definitely want to leave this bomb on 0. I think. Alright, we'll try to hit a Johnny. Inside Armageddon is gross. Yay, we didn't die. Alright. Now he's probably going to tick up on the Matter Reshaper, so we'll just probably tick up... let's see, that sends it to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay. So we can actually activate I here off of the Simian Spirit Guide. We're just doing all LSV sweet tricks from the PT. So yeah, we'll get Reality Smasheroonies. Leave this on 0. Jeez. And we can also play an Oblivion Sower, but we're going to go ahead and try to kill this Johnny, see if that works. If he activates his dude, I think we just have to Ghost Quarter. Means we can't Oblivion Sower this turn, but I think I'm okay with that. Get to kill Johnny, which is a very, very good threat against us. Unless he drew Terminate, that'd be gross. Okay. Alright, Johnny Man down. Okay. Perfectly fine with that. We have this Ratchet Bomb sitting on 0. No zeros in play from our side. Maybe his other card is also Lingering Souls. We'll take this one up to 3. Alright, bomb for 0. And since we Ghost Quarter last turn, we still can't play the Oblivion Sower, but I think I'd rather whack-a-doodle him right now. Oh man, we got us a game. Wow! That is awesome. Okay, well we get to kill his Elspeth. Okay, I guess we could also just start activating Eye, but I think I'd rather get this other dude into play. We might just deck him with Oblivion Sowers. May also just get to activate Eye anyway. This guy's deck looks cool. I don't know if this is the same version that Ben Sark and those guys played, but it definitely looks sweet. Alright, we're just going to leave it on 4. No need to tick up. Now we can actually activate Eye and play a Reality Smasher, I think. Could also just play another Oblivion Sower, but I want to get this haste damage in case he drew a removal spell. Alright, well, that was the 4th round. I think that's going to be good for tonight. We could go ahead and play the last round, but I think I'd rather just stop there since we did have some pretty sweet games and played 2 non-mirror match decks. So we are going to go over the deck, though, and talk a little bit about it and, you know, maybe some changes we can make going forward because I think the deck is very good, but it might need a little bit of work to survive the post Pro Tour metagame, as it were. All right, let's go ahead and get everything in here so we can see everything. So, to start, Chalice of the Void, very good against most of Modern before the tournament. In regards to Chalice after the Pro Tour, I think we could actually just play a different version of the deck that has this same engine, you know, all of the colorless stuff, and just doesn't play Chalice of the Void. You know, it's really bad in the mirror. It's basically a dead draw. I don't really like it that much in any sort of matchup going forward where your opponent might have this deck on their radar. And since it did so well at the Pro Tour, this deck's definitely going to be on everyone's radar, and people are going to be aware that Chalice is actually a thing. I think you know, even stuff like Infect, which would normally be in a lot of trouble if their opponent casts Chalice of the Void, may end up starting some number of Viridian Corruptor's main deck and probably the full 4 after sideboard. They may move away from stuff like Nature's Claim and instead play Seal of Primordium, for example. Since people are probably going to start playing stuff like Ensnaring Bridge or Blood Moon and things like that, it may actually just be pertinent to play something like Seal of Primordium anyway. So, there's always that. The spell skites I think are pretty mediocre. They can obviously save some guys from removal spells, but for the most part, it just felt like it did nothing. I don't actually know what I would want to play instead. I think the biggest question is, since we're a colorless deck, what do we want instead of these cards? You know, what if we cut all the chalices, all the ratchet bombs, all the spell skites, you know, the least performing cards in the deck? What are we actually adding instead? And I think the answer is that we actually just move towards JC Tao's version, since his version is just, you know, very aggressive. I think it has a lot more consistency with just a heavier number of 3-drop creatures. Um, and I think that overall it kind of dominates this matchup in particular, since you do have Drowner of Hope, you do have, oh man, the haste steal your guy whose name I always forget. Um, yeah, so that's kind of the direction I want to move towards, is something like that. And the thing about this engine though is that you actually can just do whatever you want. You know, you could play green red and you would get Vile Aggregate and Ancient Stirrings, for example. You could play blue black like Frank Lepore from the top 8, and you could have Wasteland Strangler and play main deck Relic of Progenitus, and you still also get Drowner of Hope. With green, you also maybe get access to Worldbreaker. Sideboard cards, you get like Ancient Grudge, which sounds pretty sweet. You know, there's a huge downside to playing a colorless deck, is that we have all these cards in our deck and sideboard that, you know, are colorless. So in general, their power level is going to be a little bit lower. Something like, you know, Ratchet Bomb or Spellskite, you know, or even sideboard, you know, we have to play like Pithy Needle or more Ratchet Bombs and Spellskites. We don't have the bevy of options at our disposal if we just actually played some colored sources. And I think that the guys from East West Bowl, I think that was their team name. I think they actually just hit the nail on the head. Their deck is very good, and the only reason I played this today instead of that is because I already had this deck built, because this was the one that was getting you know, the biggest hype train from the Pro Tour coverage, and it is still very good. But as far as Eldrazi mirrors go, I don't think it is very good. I think this one is a huge underdog against any deck that has Drowner of Hope. I think that Vile Aggregate is insanely good because it brick walls everything from the opposing decks except for Reality Smasher. You know, there aren't enough dismembers. You can only play 4. I would probably play 8 if I could in this deck because of how good it is, and so it's the colorless removal spell that the deck needs. But yeah, I don't know. That's really all I got. I think that the CFB guys and the face-to-face guys working together on that team really nailed it. The Relic of Progenitus plus Oblivion Sower out of the sideboard is a way to go a bit bigger, and allows you to, against the more grindy decks, to actually just start activating Eye of Ugin. You know, probably the turn after you cast Oblivion Sower, which is huge, and not a lot of decks can really deal with it. You know, we've seen for years that these green red Tron decks, you know, they have their own Eye of Ugin to search out Imrakul or Ulamog, and those cards just really hammer the control decks and they make them just not viable. And this deck can't really do that in game 1, but after sideboard you get access to the relics and the Oblivion Sower, and you just have a similar game plan, you know, this inevitability. And you know, whereas against the Tron decks you could maybe have a Ghost Quarter or a Fulminator Mage or whatever and kill their Eye of Ugin, and then that would maybe solve the problem, but this deck plays 4 Eye of Ugin because it's so good with the other cards. So it's going to be really tough for you to keep them off of being able to do that late game Sower activation chain like you saw in the previous match I just played. Excuse me. But anyway, guys, that's going to be all I got for you. You know, all the cards in this deck are great. I think that they really impressed a lot of people at this Pro Tour with this deck, and you know, a lot of people saw the engine. You know, you had the cookie cutter Eldrazi deck with Mimic, Reshaper, Thought Knot, Reality Smasher. Some people didn't really find Endless one, but you know, I think that it is very good for the deck. It just gives you that very fluid draw against decks where you need to kind of curve out, and it just works really well with Eldrazi Mimic. Gives you more Eldrazi, like good, cheap Eldrazi creatures to use with Eye of Ugin and Eldrazi Tempo, which I think is really important. But the rest of the deck can just be shaped however you want. You know, we could get rid of all of these Chalices and all these Spirit Guides and all these Ratchet Bombs and Spellskites and just play like a normal beatdown deck, but you are just like a super powered beatdown deck because you have all of these giant creatures that cost so little, and not a lot of decks can really deal with that. But yeah, that's all I got, guys. Anyway, I'm Todd Anderson. I appreciate y'all watching this video on StarCityGames.com. This was Colorless Eldrazi, and yeah, I hope you liked it. We'll see you soon. Take it easy.